What if one of Japan's most famous stories was told without showing a single person? This is Kakitsubatazu Byobu, or Irises, a folding screen painted by Ogata Kōrin in the early 18th century. At first glance, it seems surprisingly simple. Against a brilliant gold background, clusters of deep blue irises bloom across the screen. There are no people, no buildings, no mountains, and almost no indication of place. Yet this painting tells a story that many viewers of Kōrin's time would have immediately recognized. The inspiration comes from Ise Museum, or the Tales of Ise, one of the most celebrated works of classical Japanese literature. In a famous episode known as the Eastern Journey, the protagonist stops at a place called Yatsuhashi, or 8 Bridges. There, surrounded by blooming irises, he composes a poem expressing his longing for the capital he has left behind. Most artists would have illustrated the travelers, the bridges, and the landscape. Kōrin did something radically different. He removed everything except the irises. The flowers alone are left to evoke the entire scene. The composition appears natural at first, but it is carefully designed. The iris clusters are arranged rhythmically across the 2 6-panel screens, guiding the eye from one group to the next, less like a landscape, and more like a sequence of visual notes in a piece of music. Look closely, and you may notice something unexpected. Several clusters are almost identical. On the right screen, the groupings in panels 1 and 2 are closely echoed by those in panels 4 and 5. The left screen also contains repeated elements. These are not accidental. They are deliberate echoes. Researchers believe Kōrin reused patterns, possibly employing stencil techniques similar to those used in textile design. This idea makes sense when we consider his background. Kōrin was born in Kyoto, into a wealthy merchant family that specialized in luxury textiles. Unlike many painters, he grew up surrounded by fabrics, decorative patterns, and sophisticated design. That sensibility shaped not only how he arranged forms, but how he approached the materials themselves. The flowers are painted with gunjo, a rich blue mineral pigment derived from azurite, while the leaves are rendered in rokusho, a vivid green pigment. Rather than hiding the texture of these pigments, he allowed their natural qualities to become part of the image. By applying the coarse azurite particles thickly, the petals seem soft, full, and three-dimensional against the flat gold, while the leaves create bold rhythmic accents across the gold surface. And the gold itself is doing more than creating a sense of luxury. By eliminating any suggestion of sky, ground, or depth, the gold ground forces the eye directly onto the flowers, stripping away everything except what Kōrin wanted you to see. The result balances abstraction and observation in a way few artists could achieve. Kōrin began pursuing painting seriously only in his 40s, yet his talent quickly earned recognition. Just 4 years later, he received the prestigious title of Hokkyo from the imperial court. The screen also reflects how deeply he admired Tawaraya Sōtatsu, the artist famous for 風神雷神図屏風, the wind god and thunder god screen, and often regarded as the founder of the Rinpa tradition. That admiration was not merely philosophical. Kōrin made his own copy of the wind god and thunder god screen, studying Sōtatsu's composition directly as a way of absorbing his approach. Like Sōtatsu, Kōrin transformed classical literature into bold decorative imagery, but he pushed that approach even further, reducing the narrative to its essential visual elements. More than 1,000 sheets of gold leaf were used across the pair of screens. Yet what remains most striking is how little Kōrin needed to say everything. Without depicting a single human figure, he captured memory, poetry, and emotion. The screens are held today at the Nezu Museum in Tokyo, which built its celebrated garden partly as a living complement to the work, a space where irises still bloom each spring, just as they do on the painting. More than 300 years later, these irises continue to bloom, not in a garden, but in one of the most iconic paintings in Japanese art.